Sometimes, when a woman first meets you, she feels nothing. No spark, no excitement, no instant attraction. And that's exactly where 99% of men lose before they even begin, unaware that the door was still wide open. Here's what most men don't understand. Attraction doesn't always begin with desire. Sometimes, it begins with confusion, curiosity, a strange attention she can't explain, yet can't ignore. The men who master this, the dangerous ones, they don't wait for interest to magically appear. They create it. They build obsession from the ground up. In this video, I'll reveal 6 Machiavellian tactics that dangerous men use to spark desire, even when there was zero interest at first. Each rule is a lever you can pull to turn indifferent women into active pursuers. But here's the brutal truth. Miss even one of these rules, and you may never realize just how close you were to having her completely hooked. Watch until the end, because at some point in your life, you'll meet a woman who shows no signs, and these rules will determine whether you disappear from her radar or take complete control. Let's begin. Translation. If you make yourself too available, you blend into the background. But if you stay just slightly out of reach, you become unforgettable. Next move, always let her invest first. Slow your responses, say less, smile rarely, make her lean in. Let her earn every next layer of your attention. And here's your moment to leave an imprint. The man who withholds his approval holds the real power. Let's move forward, because the next test is invisible. If you don't spot it, you'll fail, without even realizing she was testing you at all. Rule 1. Make her feel slightly unqualified. Attraction rarely begins with praise. It starts with imbalance. That quiet moment when she wonders, do I even qualify for his attention? Picture this. You meet a woman who's used to effortless attention. Other men fold immediately, offering compliments, validation, admiration. But you stay composed. You observe. You don't rush. You don't perform. Your silence speaks louder than their flattery. My standards are high. I don't give attention away for free. And that's when something changes. She straightens her posture, laughs a little louder, looks for ways to engage you, not because she's in love, but because her mind hates uncertainty. And controlled uncertainty is the root of desire. Machiavelli understood it perfectly. Men desire most what they cannot easily obtain. Rule 2. Stay calm in her emotional storm. Before deep attraction ever forms, women instinctively test for one thing. Can you control yourself when pressure rises? This test isn't always conscious. Whether you just met her, you're dating, or have been married for years, the test remains the same. Her emotions spike, not always to attack, but to measure. Here's your scenario. You're on a date. Things seem fine. Suddenly, she says, "You don't open up much. Do you even like me?" The average man panics. He leans in. He reassures, "No, of course I like you. I just get nervous. I really enjoy being with you." He collapses. Or maybe you've been together for years. She suddenly says, "Lately you don't seem invested. Maybe you're not even trying anymore." And again, most men defend. "That's not true. I do everything for us. What more do you want?" Collapse. But the dangerous man, the one who triggers her deepest obsession, responds differently. Here's your next move. You hold your posture. You allow the silence. You meet her eyes unshaken, calm. You might simply reply, with a subtle smile, "You feel that way, interesting." And then, you stop. That small, controlled pause disarms her entirely. Why? Because your energy says, "I don't chase approval. I am the approval." Machiavelli knew this truth well. The wise man rules not through force, but through unshakable presence. When you remain emotionally grounded, you trigger 2 primal responses within her: respect, curiosity. And curiosity is the birthplace of obsession. This is your moment to imprint. If she can move your emotions, she controls the frame. If she can't, she starts chasing it. Let's continue. Because the next test is subtle, and if you miss it, you'll never realize how close you were to taking full control. This is where psychological tension begins to build, because absence forces her to mentally pursue what her hands can't fully grasp. That's where desire begins to grow. Machiavelli believed, when you're always available, your value diminishes. But when you control access to yourself, your value multiplies. And here's your moment to imprint. If she never has to wonder where you stand, she'll never feel the magnetic pull that awakens desire. So remember this in every scenario. A new date, a long-term relationship, even after a conflict, allow space, deliberate space. Don't fear the silent gaps, because when you're absent, her imagination works harder than your words ever could. Let's move forward, because another test lies ahead, and if you miss it, you'll fail it without ever realizing you were being tested. Rule 3. Use absence to create psychological tension. Every man faces the same question. Should I stay close or should I pull back? Here's the secret dangerous men understand. Attraction doesn't always grow when you show up. It grows when you don't. It grows in the space where her mind begins to wander and wonder. Let's ground this in your world. If you're single, you've just met her. The conversation flowed, the vibe was good, but you didn't chase. No promises, no constant check-ins. You let the silence take over, and suddenly her mind lights up. Why hasn't he reached out? Did I not leave a strong impression? Is he seeing someone else? If you're in a relationship or married, you don't flood her with constant attention. You maintain your rhythm. You disappear into your mission, your purpose, your world. Without explanation, and quietly, tension begins to rise. Why is he so calm without me? Does he still crave me? What's going on in his head? Rule 4. Reveal yourself in layers. This is where most men sabotage their value. They overshare too early. They mistake openness for connection. But dangerous men know better. Attraction doesn't thrive on full access. It feeds on mystery. Let's make it practical. If you're dating, and she leans in and asks, "So, what really happened in your last relationship?" Most men unload the entire story. You hold eye contact, offer a calm smile, and say that story's not ready for public release. Maybe one day, if you're in a relationship, even after months or years, you don't pour out every fear, every thought, every moment of doubt. Instead, you let her uncover you piece by piece. Each new layer feels like she's gaining access to something rare, and rarity is the fuel of obsession. Machiavelli taught, appear open, but conceal your intentions, because full transparency kills the tension that keeps her mind circling around you. Here's your new mindset. When she feels there's always more to discover, she never fully relaxes. She stays emotionally engaged, because she hasn't conquered you yet. Your next move. Never reveal your full hand too early. In every interaction, leave threads untied. Give her just enough to stay intrigued, never enough to feel complete. Now let's move forward, because the next test is subtle, and if you don't recognize it, you'll fail without ever realizing you were being tested. Rule 5. Signal high demand, without flaunting it. Here's a truth that rewires attraction instantly. A woman's desire spikes when she senses quiet competition, not through your words, but through your presence. Women don't analyze attraction like men. They feel it through subtle social cues, through the unspoken reputation you carry. Let's make it real for you. If you're single, you post a story. She sees the likes, the comments, the subtle attention from other women. You don't bring it up, you don't brag. But her mind starts whispering. Other women want him. What do they see that I don't? What am I missing? If you're in a relationship or married, you move through events with quiet confidence. Other women show respect through eye contact, brief conversations, body language. Your woman notices even if she says nothing. And subconsciously, it lands. I have what others want. I need to protect my position. Machiavelli once said, reputation builds faster than proof. You don't prove your worth directly. You let her imagination do the work. And here's the truth. Desire fueled by subtle, silent competition taps into her most primal instincts. Not because she's weak, but because she's wired to protect what feels rare and valuable. Your actionable move. Don't brag. Don't overshare. Instead, keep small windows open, where your desirability is quietly visible. A message left on read. A compliment from someone you barely acknowledge. Not to manipulate, but to remind her without a single word that she's not the only one watching. Let her connect the dots, because the dots she connects on her own will always imprint deeper than anything you could ever say. Now let's move forward, because the final test is hidden. And if you fail to spot it, you'll lose without ever knowing how close you were to full control. Rule 6. Own your detachment. The final lever of total power. Here's what separates ordinary men from dangerously magnetic men. They never allow a woman to become their emotional oxygen. Desire thrives in uncertainty, and nothing creates more uncertainty than a man who is fully present, yet completely detached. Let's break it down. If you're single, you meet an attractive woman. She senses your interest. You're engaged, sharp, warm, but something deeper unsettles her. He enjoys me, but I don't control him. You never chase with texts. You allow conversations to end when they should. You offer connection, never need. If you're in a relationship or married, you love her, but your mission remains first. Your health, your discipline, your purpose untouched by her emotional weather. When conflict hits, you don't collapse or cling. You stay composed. And she begins to realize, even if I withdraw emotionally, he will keep building his world. Machiavelli said it with brutal elegance. He who depends on nothing cannot be conquered. Every time she feels you could walk away, not as a tactic, but as a truth, her emotional investment deepens. Not out of fear, but out of instinct. This isn't about being cold, it's about being unbreakable. Your next actionable move. Train yourself to never need constant emotional reassurance. Build a life centered around your mission. Surround yourself with goals, disciplines, and obstacles that sharpen your edges, because the moment your emotional state stops relying on any woman, you own every room you walk into. Now let's close this chapter and anchor the final truth. The dangerous man doesn't seduce. He destabilizes. He becomes the unknown, and that is what she can't resist. Because attraction isn't built through words, gifts, or performance. It's built through psychological gravity, through mystery that refuses to be solved, through calm that disarms her storms, through absence that echoes louder than attention ever could. This is the art, not of pursuit, but of power. Let me know if you want imagination is your weapon. Every time you refuse to react, every time you reveal less than expected, every time you disappear while others chase, you don't just stand out, you become unforgettable. Machiavelli understood, the one who controls the frame never competes for desire. The dangerous man doesn't seek her validation, he carries his own, and that self-contained power creates hunger inside her. While others beg to be liked, while others crave attention, he moves like time itself, unbothered, unattached, unapologetic. And because he never demands her obsession, she gives it, freely, fully, desperately. In the end, it's not the man who tries harder who wins. It's the man who gives less, but carries what no woman can ignore. The silent, unshakable energy of power. If this message woke something up in you, if you're ready to become the kind of man who doesn't chase life, but commands it, my book, The Undeniable Man, Built to be Chosen, is now available. It's a strategic guide for men who want to lead, attract, and dominate, not just in love but in life. No fluff, no tricks, Just pure, practical power you can use every single day. The link is in the description. If this message spoke to you, don't just listen. Engage. Leave a comment. Even a few words can lock this deeper into your mind. And it might help someone else too. Hit the like button if this resonated. And share this with someone you know is ready. Someone who needs this now. Just trust your instinct. Because in the end, we're all trying to become clearer, stronger, and more unshakable inside. Let's build minds that don't break.